So right now, we're going to talk about specific radian values of trig functions. This is a really easy thing. These are easy to prepare for. Most students just don't know that they're on the SAT. A little bit of background. Trig functions are functions of angles. So if you hear find the sine of 60 or the sine of pi over 2, the 60 and the pi over 2, those are angles. And if an angle has a pi in it, that means it's in radians. So if you don't know what radians are, radians and degrees are like two different languages that talk about the same thing. But to differentiate between them, if there's a pi anywhere in there, that's a signal to you that you're dealing with radians. In that case, you're going to switch your calculator to radian mode and just go ahead and do the operation. Now, of course, don't forget, you've got to switch it back because 99% of the stuff we do is in degree mode. And so if you happen to have your calculator in radian mode and you're not aware of that, you'll be getting wrong answers and you won't know why. So let's go ahead and look at some practice questions for this. So here we have a question asking us to solve for the cosine of 3 pi over 2. So let's go over to our graphing calculator. Now, by the way, we recommend the handheld TI-84 graphing calculator for the SAT for any calculations. We recommend the online Desmos graphing calculator, which is provided to you. We recommend that for graphing because here you can zoom in and out and scroll. If you have two functions, you can just click to find where they intersect or where one of them hits the X or Y axis. Way easier than a graphing calculator. But we're going to use the online Desmos graphing calculator for calculations, even though I think a student who's taking the SAT should use the handheld one, but we're using it here because we need it to show up on the computer screen, of course. So the question was asking us for the cosine of 3 pi over 2. So I'll type that in, cosine, parentheses, 3 pi, pi is this button right here, over is the slash that's on the same button as the question mark on your keyboard. So that puts you in a fraction and a 2 on the bottom. So what do we have right here? We have a wrong answer. And that's because our angle is in radians. But if we look at the settings, either on Desmos or on your TI-84, you want to make sure that you're not in degree mode. So when I switch this over to radian mode, I'm going to get a whole other answer. And this is the correct answer. The other one was wrong because our question was not in degrees at that moment. It was in radians. So the cosine of 3 pi over 2 is 0. It's that simple for this question. And so the answer for this one would be B. Okay, so now let's go to another example for this. Let's say we had to solve the sine of 5 pi over 12. Now look at these answer choices. They look really complicated. If you didn't even know something like this was going to be on the SAT to begin with, this would be really scary. But we do the same thing we did before. Just go over to your Desmos graphing calculator, enter in sine of 5 pi over 12. So sine of 5 pi over, which is the question mark button, the slash button, over 12. And there we have it, 0.9659 and some change. So let's write that down, 0.9659 and some change. But the problem is our answers look totally different. So we need to figure out which one matches up. And all you have to do is enter each of these answers into Desmos as well and see which one's a match. So for instance, answer choice A, root 6 plus root 4 all over 2. So let's enter it right below. Root 6, cursor to get out of there, plus root 4, cursor to get out of there. Maybe a parentheses around this whole thing so we can put it all in the numerator. Slash next to the question mark, all over 2. So here we have 2.22. It's not a match. Let's try answer choice B. Root 6 plus root 3 all over 5. Root 6 plus root 3 all over 5. Once again, not a match. C. Root 6 plus root 5 all over 3. Root 6 plus root 5 all over 3. And also not a match. So we kind of know it has to be answer choice D now. Root 6 plus root 2 all over 4. So root 6, root 2 all over 4. And we have our perfect match right there. And the answer to this one would be D. So now let's try one last example. tan of 11 pi over 6. So let's erase this, erase this. Tan of 11 pi over 6. And we have negative 0.577 and some change. So let's write that, negative 0.577 and some change after that. And so we know it can't be either of these positive answers. And let's just test them out. Negative root 3 over 3 and negative root 3 over 2. So negative root 3, right arrow to get out of there, all over 3. And we have a perfect match. And of course, if we put it over 2, it would not be a perfect match. So this is the one that matches, and that is answer choice A on this sample question. So hopefully you watched this to the end, and you're now ready for something that you would not have been ready for had you not watched this video. Thanks so much. Have a great day.